Good day, dear ones. I invite us to sit together at the kitchen table and to talk with one another about our plans to begin in-person worship again and to begin to reopen our congregation. As leaders of St. Luke, the staff and council have worked together to develop what is called a phased reopening plan that you can see in the chart that accompanies this page. Here is what has guided us in making this plan. First and foremost is Jesus' command to love others as he's loved us. To live more for others than for ourselves. That's what love requires, and it has guided us in making this plan. Secondly, that we honor and respect our government officials and their guidelines as scriptures teaches us to do. Thirdly, that we remain flexible because there's so much about this virus we yet do not understand, and there may be some more information that comes along that moves us to want to change the plan. And fourthly, that whenever we get together, in whatever group, that we can do it enthusiastically and wholeheartedly, that if there are concerns or restrictions that would hinder that, doesn't make any sense to rush back in getting together. So with these guidelines in mind, we've developed this phased reopening plan. You can see on the chart at the top the government guidelines that come from both the state and the federal government as best we can understand them for physical distancing, vulnerable populations, and maximum group size. And that's what's guided us in making these 4 phases of reopening. As you well know, we've been in phase 1 since the middle of March, which means we've only offered online worship as most churches have. I hope you've enjoyed our online worship experiences, and I think the staff is to be commended for the quality worship experiences online that have been offered each week. We're going to continue to offer those through all the phases and into the future, both contemporary and traditional. Beginning May 31st, you can join those worship experiences earlier on Sunday morning at 8:15 for traditional, at 9:30 for contemporary, and at 9 o'clock for the kids' worship. And on demand anytime after that for all of those worship experiences. We're going to continue to do that into the future, past the pandemic, into what we're calling the new normal. Now, beginning on June 21st, we hope to move into phase 2, which means this. First, if you are among those in the vulnerable population in terms of this virus, because of your age or physical condition, or if on a Sunday morning you are ill, please stay home and enthusiastically join us for our online worship. We're also offering this and encouraging this, what we call watch parties. A watch party is a smaller group of people, 10 or less, that get together to experience the online worship together and enjoy one another. It could be a life group or part of a life group or some friends or neighbors that get together to enjoy that. We're going to invite you to organize that yourself and enjoy that worship in each other in that way. Watch parties. And we're also going to offer an in-person, live worship experience at St. Luke that will be outdoors only. It's going to be some time before we can come back together inside for worship because of how this virus spreads. But beginning June 21st, we're going to have a live outdoor worship service at 10 o'clock on Sunday mornings, which means if it rains or there's a weather issue, it'll simply be canceled, and you can join us online as we have been for these last number of weeks. If you choose to come to that outdoor experience, if you're comfortable with it, we're going to ask you to follow certain protocols. To sit together with your household group, or maybe if it's a small group of friends or a life group, to sit together physically distanced from the other groups, and we'll direct you in doing that. We're going to invite you to bring your own seating chairs or a blanket, and your own shade if you want that. You know, it's in the direct sun out there. And we're going to ask you to wear a face covering, at least as you gather and leave and in your conversation with others. We know that for some that's physically difficult to do, and others just don't think it's necessary or want to do that. And so we can't absolutely require that, but we're going to ask you to do that. That's going to help others to feel safe and comfortable. It's what we think love requires. We're going to offer Holy Communion on some of the worship services frequently. That'll be there, and it's going to be offered in a way that maintains safety. It won't be exactly how we receive it when we're inside, but it'll be Holy Communion. Now, we're also hoping that we can figure out how to do a FM transmission of the service so that you could stay in your car and tune in on the radio like you're at a drive-in. We're still figuring that out. And there may be some other protocols that we ask you to follow in coming to that service. But that begins June 21st, Father's Day. You'll see in the chart that there's phase 3 and what we maybe phase 4, we're calling it the new normal. And you can see there's a lot of things that have yet to be determined because we just don't know yet. Please be patient with us. We believe that there's a day coming when this pandemic passes that we're calling the new normal, that we'll be able to do many of the things that we did before the pandemic, but it's not going to be exactly the same. It's going to be a new normal. And frankly, I'm excited to see what God will do through us to connect people into growing a relationship with Jesus Christ. What is our mission? So that's what we have. We ask that if you have questions or comments or concerns about that feedback, please let us know. Email us, text us, call us on the phone. We sent out a survey online and we sent it by mail to those who don't have that capability recently. Please fill that out. If you didn't get one, ask us. We'll be happy to send it to you. Even if you're not a member of the church, this is for anyone that's connected with us. We need that feedback so that as we begin to plan now for phase 3 and the new normal, we have that information. So do that. That is our phased reopening plan as we have it. Let's remember this. Let's be patient with one another. Let's remember that we are in this together. Let's stay connected. And most of all, let's live by Jesus' command to love others as he's loved us, to live more for others than for ourselves. In this way, we will thrive together through this into whatever that new normal is. I'm looking forward to it. God be with you today.